Welcome to an introduction to accounting and to Adminsoft Accounts. In this podcast we are going to look at the issuing of credit notes to customers, and we can do this in two ways. So if we first of all go to the sales ledger and we go down to generate a new credit note, we have our screen here for credit notes, and the first thing we've got to find is the customer, which is Flint. So here we are, Flint and Daughters. Now at this point I don't really know what I'm issuing the credit note for. So what I might want to do at this point is go and say, okay, let's find Flint's account here. And we will look at the transaction history, and we see that they have one invoice. No? Here we are, yes, one invoice for £681.87, but we still don't know what it was for. So what I probably need to do now is say, right, what were the details? Okay, here we are. Our details were this was an invoice for 200 French marigold trays and 12 oak trees. So let's assume that they've returned 10 oak trees. In Adminsoft you have to enter these as negative numbers. So we're going to put in our 10 oak trees, and that's miscellaneous, and let me just check on the price, which was $14.67 each. So we've now taken a total of £176.04 off what they owe us. That's our credit note. And we can see that agrees here with the total amount, which was 176. So we want to just indicate that we've done that, so I'm just going to print it out to an Excel file. Normally I would print the one to a Word file or to something else, but this is just for convenience at the moment. So I'm going to print and post that. So yes, we're ready for that to be posted. And there we are, the details have been done. I can close down that, and I want to close that for the moment and just open it again and check that it's there. So this was to Flint. And yes, there we are. We had the original invoice and we have a credit note as well. So our original invoice 681, our credit note for 176. Okay, now that's fine, but of course the problem was we had to go through the rigmarole of looking up what the original invoice was for. We can in fact find an easy way of doing that. So if I go to customers again, and I'm going to seek out another customer who has an invoice, Yolanda Merchandise, and I'm going to look at the transaction history, and I can see here's my invoice, invoice number 4. So let's look at the details of that, and here we are. So this was for 50 Leyland conifers and for 50 beech saplings. Now if we go down and look at this invoice here, what I can see is a credit note. So I can in fact create a credit note from the invoice. And it says, do I want to convert the invoice into a credit note? It will not post the customer account until printed or posted. Yes, I do want to do that. Now I don't want to actually take off minus 50, I only want to take off minus 5, so I'll do that just to be sure. And I only want to take off minus 2 beech saplings. So there we are. I've now taken off 5 Leyland conifers and 2 beech saplings, so I now want to post that. This was for 27.10, so I'm going to post that. Yes. Allocate this credit note to the invoice. We want to do that. We want to link this credit note to the invoice that it referred to. So I'm now going to say OK, and to close that again. And just open it once more, It was to Yolanda. And if I look at the transaction now, I can see that what it's done in fact is reduced the value of that invoice. So if I take the transaction history, you can see I've taken the amount off the credit note, and the balance now on that invoice is 387. So it's slightly easier to do if you generate the invoice from the credit note. So that was my original. And this is my deduction from that. Okay. So that means that I can generate credit notes in two ways. You may well be instructed to do it in a particular way. You may be instructed to go through the sales ledger here and do it as a credit note that way, or you may be instructed to pull up the customer transactions and to do it that way. Personally, I actually prefer to do it this way, for going through the sales ledger, even though it does mean looking up the amount. Okay, thank you.